Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, June 26th, but you could be watching this whenever. So welcome back. Thanks for joining me today on this lovely day. Test, John Nicholas. Yeah, it's good to be back here with you. I was out last week on vacation, so we had a pre-recorded video put up on YouTube, but I'm stoked to be here and making stuff again today. Not a whole lot of ado, just that if I'm ever not streaming and you're looking for more content, did you know that you can go to youtube.com/c/glitch.com and you can actually see all of my previous streams are captured here. You can watch them later, share, subscribe, the good stuff. And yeah, I really appreciate it. And hopefully you can watch this even if your time zone does not allow or you're at work right now. So this week, someone suggested setting up a simple blog. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try using a static blog tool to make a basic blog on Glitch. And the tool that I picked this week is called Hexo. And it's a static site generator. What that means is you get to write files and it turns those files into your blog, but it does it sort of compiles them, right? So when you visit the blog, you're just looking at HTML and CSS and all that good stuff, but you get to write in Markdown or some other format of your choosing. Hexo seems like a popular blog. It seems like it's very simple to set up. So we're going to try to get it working on Glitch and make a basic blog that other people can hopefully then remix to make their own. There are probably going to be a couple little gotchas here and there just from taking a look at this site. The first thing to notice is that this uses a CLI right now. Using CLIs on Glitch is not the easiest thing in the world because a CLI wants to make a directory for you, right? So it wants to make a directory. You can see down here in these instructions. Maybe that can be more illustrative, right? It says Hexo init blog, and that's going to make a folder called blog, and then they're going to do the installation and all that stuff. However, on Glitch, the project directory is already made for you. It's a folder called app. So we're going to have to try to make these two things play along nice. I think the first part of the stream is going to be getting everything plugged and played and nice. Obviously, we want to make tweaks at Glitch to make this stuff easier, but right now I want to show you sort of a realistic take of what this would be like. And so let us start. It looks like they use a tool called Hexo CLI, and we can just jump right in and take a look at that. So we're going to make a new project. I'm going to start with a simple node project here. I'm going to use our Express project to start. And once this is remixed, I will share what it is called. It is the Elderly Discovery 1 project. That's fun. Which means if you go to this link in the channel, you can play along with me and actually click around and see the files and actually see the code on your machine while you're watching me code. I'm going to just tweak the description right up front. This is going to be a basic example of using blog using Hexo. Cool. Okay, so we've got our initial scaffolding here. And what we're going to do is, like I said, start off by bringing in Hexo, and then it's going to make its own directory, and we're going to try to graft that onto our app folder. I tried this earlier, and it seemed like it was a decent approach. It's a little corny, but I think it'll get it done. So what I can do is come in here and say install Hexo, and it's going to go. By the way, I've just come to expect this when I'm working with code. Being able to just hit add package, type a name, and have it automatically. I don't know. It's really great. Like the UI for managing packages here is one of those things that's so obvious that it just now I expect it everywhere I go, and it gets salty when it's not. Okay, so Hexo is installed, and we can jump. This is where things are going to get a little bit hairy, but we're going to open up the console. And actually, I may pop the console into full window. No, I'll leave it like this. Hopefully, y'all can follow along. It's going to get a little noisy here. But okay, so the console, by the way, if you didn't know, every Glitch project lets you jump in and actually interact with the command line. You can see where I am, and I'm in this directory called app. I'm going to make sure that font size is good and bumped for people playing along at home. Okay, so you can see that I'm down here in this console. Unfortunately, you won't be able to open the console because It's only for people who have control of the project. Obviously, if you could open the console, you would be able to remove my files, and that would make me very sad. I wouldn't worry too much about the other files that are in this project right now, because we're mostly going to get rid of all of them in a moment. But because Hexo was installed by the package manager, I can say Hexo here. That's going to think, and it actually gives me the Hexo command line tool. So Hexo command line tool is now installed in this project, which means I can say Hexo. So Hexo init, right? Ooh, it explodes, right? And why did it explode? The error it gives me is that the directory it's in is not empty, which means I need to run it on an empty folder and copy my files into it. So it means I can't actually I can't inflate the site in place in the directory I'm in. What I'm actually going to have to do is, and I tried this earlier and it worked. I said, okay, I'm going to say hexo init blog, which means there's actually going to be a folder within our app called blog. You can see that's thinking, churning. And it's doing a bunch of npm installation. By default, Glitch uses a tool called pnpm, which uses symlinks to it's just symlinks or hard links. It uses links, so every project running on one host is actually sharing packages. This is tremendously convenient, and it means we can save a lot of file size and bytes. And actually, it means that the packages installed by pnpm don't count against your quota. However, packages installed by npm do count against your quota because they live in your project. So right now, all of the Hexo stuff is installed into a folder. You can see, give me a little start blogging with Hexo. So if now we take a look, you can see I have a directory here called blog. We want blog to become app. And the way I got this to work earlier, trust me, this is not pretty, but it does work, is I can say rm-rf, and then we're just going to go through and actually undo or remove everything. I'm going to leave the README. Server, shrink wrap, views. Okay, so I'm actually going to remove everything that's in this project first, except for the folder blog and the folder blog and the README file. And then I'm going to actually move all the files from the blog down one directory. Earlier I tried this and it worked, except for the hidden files didn't move with it initially. I didn't like that. So I want to see real quick if there's a command line flag for move that says include hidden files. I'm gonna wonder, and if someone in the chat knows whether you can say, hey, when I move hidden files too, like move everything. If not, I'll have to do it manually, which is not a huge deal, but does not look like it. At least not off the top of my head. That's okay. We'll just do it in 2 steps. So I'm going to do blog/everything, which is actually not everything because the hidden files don't get copied, and just move it up to here. So now you can see everything's up there. If I go into blog, it looks empty, but it's not because the gitignore file didn't get moved up. So we're going to move it ourselves. So now I can actually remove the blog directory. It removes cleanly because it's actually empty. And now you can see that I have all of my files in the right place, and you can see that the editor still doesn't. So what's going on here? By default, Glitch is not constantly scanning for new files in your file system. It assumes you're going to change them here. If you do change them in the command line tool, there's a command called refresh. And if you run this, it's actually going to relaunch the editor up top, and scan for files, and you'll see, aha, here we go. Now all of those files are here. This means that we've now actually done everything we need to do for now in the console, and we can go back to the glitch editor. You can see we have an error, so we should go take a look at the log and see what's going on. So there's this error here. It's a little bit cryptic. It says opt watcher app types nodes start.sh command not found. It's not 100% clear what this means, but I do know what this means, and I will share it with you now. We have what are called watchers in Glitch, and each watcher knows how to run a certain kind of project, static site, node projects, etc. And so right now the node watcher is, you can see there's a watcher for node, and it goes, I don't know how to start things. this message, while cryptic, what it's actually telling me is that it doesn't know how to start up this node server. And if you take a look at package.json, the created project doesn't have a script section, and it's actually looking for the equivalent of npm start, and there is no npm start, and so the watcher doesn't know what to do, it doesn't know how to start our server, and it barfs into the console. So I'd love for that error to get better. Maybe I'll file an issue and see if we can improve this error and maybe provide some help text as well. But for now, we can say scripts, and we can make a scripts thing, and we can say start. And for now, I think it's Hexo server. I think I looked this up earlier. And Hexo server is the command that launches the Hexo development server. What that means, you'll see it's thinking. Aha! And no, we don't have an error in the logs down here. Instead, we have the message, Hexo is running at localhost. That's fantastic. That means our server is running. And if our server is running, that means if I launch it, I should be able to see it. Let's find out. Okay. So already we have installed Hexo, did a little bit of command line file system tomfoolery to put things in the right place, and then added a script to tell it how to start the server. And you can see that now I have a blog. And it's in fact giving me my first post, sort of a hello world. It's telling me that I can use the Hexo command line tool to make a new post, how to run the server, which I've figured out, and then how to generate static files, because right now the server is dynamically compiling things and serving them. So I could make it so when I change files, it actually does a generation step and it reserves them as opposed to having the live server. We'll play with the live server for now. And then deployment to remote sites, we're already deployed. That's one of the nice things about Glitch. It's once you get it working, it's live. So if I open this in a new tab, you can see just the same that Eldry discovery1.glitch.me is the live version of this blog. So I'll throw the channel there. And so you can see that, actually, I may change. I'll leave the project description in the chat for now. We've got this slick little live view of our blog. You can see there's a post called Hello World. Is there a post called Hello World? There is. So on the file tree here, we can see that there's this markdown view, and it shows me the markdown of my post. And if I click on the markdown button, I get the edit view, and I could actually say, hello Twitch. And it's going to think for a second and hopefully reserve this post. Hopefully I don't need to refresh. I might need to refresh. Aha, didn't quite get caught up yet. That's interesting. Okay, so the watcher is being a little funky. We'll have to figure out what's going on there. But you could see that as I edited, it did eventually show the content. I was hoping for a faster turnaround live. There's nothing in the logs there, was there? If I make a change again, there's something in the log that says, yes, I've recompiling. No. Okay, that's neither here nor there for the moment. But we've got a blog. 17 minutes in, we have a basic blog. Can we make new posts? I suspect we can. There's these things called scaffolds. There's drafts, and there's pages, and there's posts. And I see the only I'm not sure what the difference is between scaffolds, pages, and posts. But I wonder if the command line tool will help us. So let's try the command line tool. You can see this post recommended. If I wanted to make a new post, I could say Hexo new my new post. So let's try that out. Hexo new my new post. It's exactly what they say. Thinks for a second, and it says created sourced posts my new post.markdown. The file tree did not pick it up, but I can always, like I said, run refresh and should pick it up. And there it is. Cool. So my new post is now here. It looks a little funky, but let's try my new post. Let's just put that in there. Aha, tags are blank. Let's say cool, funky. Those are good tags for our blog post. Yeah, the front matter is not a huge fan of the front matter. However, but if I go back to the home of page of my blog, my new post, and see the title is duplicated. So I can just say, hey, what's up? See if that updates. Okay, it's working somewhat, but you can see that my new post and the hey what's up are like not exactly simpatico here. So what I'm going to do is actually try tweaking the build flow here because I think the live server is acting a bit strange. So what we can actually do is, I believe, I'm curious, actually, while this is running, I'm just going to try something on the command line. We're going to try Hexo generate, which I saw in the docs was how you generated the static version of your site. So let's just see what happens. And I don't know where all that went. So we're going to type refresh and see where all that went. Public. Let me guess. Public is in the git ignore. It is, which means I can't see it. I'm going to put public back, take public out of the git ignore so we can see it in our editor. I think it makes sense to be able to see the built files. Okay, so now we have, you can actually see the site as it is generated. It's still being served by Hexo serve. That is true. We could swap it to a little static site server. Maybe I'll try that. Let's go to package.json. And let's say, there's a bunch of these out there for the record. Simple server being the one that always jumps to mind. And so I could say simple server, and we'll say serve on the public IP, or serve at the public folder. It's installing. If there's an update available message, maybe I need to deal with that. But okay, the site is still working. What this means is now we've actually switched from the Hexo server to a simple server, and it's serving the public directory. It's a small difference. Let's see. What else can we do here? Do we want the site to regenerate periodically? Right? Because right now, if I make a change, it won't regenerate. I could make it regenerate. We could use, I don't know, or I'm just cobbling some stuff together here, but we could try onChange. And the onChange tool, once it's installed, okay, the onChange tool lets us watch files and run commands when things change. It's pretty obvious, the name, now that you think about it. And then I'm actually going to get npm run all. I love this tool. This is a very convenient little tool that lets us run multiple npm run commands in parallel or in order. But it's a nifty little tool. So I can say serve. Let's make a let's do that, and let's say npm run all serve. But I also want a watch command. So I want to rebuild when I need, and else we need a build command because I want to watch specific files and rebuild when they change. So we're going to do onChange source. Let's see, what's the docs for onChange? Okay, so I want to do any files in the source directory. We're going to say onChange source like that. And then we're going to say npm run build. Actually, we can likely just say Hexo generate. Cool. So that means if any files in the source directory change, we can regenerate the site. And then I can say Hexo run all, npm run all. I'm going to say it's parallel. They actually have a shorthand for it. So I can say run p. I can say watch and serve. So what have I done? I've installed a simple server that lets us serve the generated static version of the site. I have the tool onChange, which is watching for changes to our source directory. And when it checks the change, it's going to run Hexo generate. And then I have start, which is going to run both of those things. Start is now running in parallel the watch and serve. Parallel means they're both happening. It's always watching, but it's also always serving. Let's make sure our server is working. It is. And let's see what happens if we make changes. This is half the fun. We can now go in and say, post is called my new post. Hey, what's up? Testing rebuild. Files loaded, generated, and look at that. Oop. Do you have a loop or is it? Ruh-roh. Let's see. Do you see this? I don't know if we got stuck in a loop or not. It did seem to work. That was a lot more logging than I anticipated. I don't know about you. Let's take a look at what our folder structure looks like. No, that should be okay. I wonder why it did so much. It did settle, so I don't know what that was. Let's take a look at the theme. I'm not sure how messing with the theme works, but we can see modify theme setting YAML to landscape. It brought this theme in when it installed, so it has a theme. I'm not sure how you manage themes, honestly, but we can go to this theme and just mess with it for a little bit. Layout, index. That's not a whole lot of information there. It goes to an archive. So where, okay, these are partials, I see. Archive. Cool. Here's the post. That's obviously embedded within something else. I'm trying to find the like actual outer shape of this entire head. Aha! Here's the actual page. It's using EJS for templating, and it's pulling the title from someplace. I'm just curious if I can get this to re-render. I want to tweak what my blog looks like. Oh, maybe I can do it here. Menu, home, archives. That's cool. Did Hexo generate right to source? That would be weird. It would be weird, Don Nicholas. I don't think it did. I don't think it did. I'm going to take a look at the main configuration of my blog. Oh, okay. It's all here. This is where I can configure things. I was wondering where that lived. Okay, wonderful. So there's a YAML file that lets me edit the configuration of the blog. Obviously, if this changes, I want to rebuild my blog. So we want to say hopefully that's not auto-generated. Let's find out. My cool blog. Change the author to be my name, if spelled correctly. Files loaded, regenerating. Okay, it generated a bunch of stuff. And then see, it does this extra regeneration, which is interesting. However, the good part is that it's now updating, right? You can see I can actually adjust all this stuff. So what else can I do? This is not my this is not my subdirectory. My domain. My domain is okay. It's rebuilding. This is cool, which means now my permalinks should work. Yep, and it gives me the actual domain here. Source directory, public directory, archive directory, categories. Neat. New post name, default layout. I like this. Oh, and this is where you do themes. Okay, so let's take a look at getting a different theme. Because this theme it's the default, but if we want to show people how to install themes, I'd love to include some docs about how best to bring other themes in. Let's see what else we've got. All kinds. Okay, and some of these have some looks to them. Let's find one that's lightweight. And the current one isn't bad, to be clear, but I just want to play. Let's try Cactus. Cactus looks super minimal. Okay, so apparently you do theme installation using Git. All right. I suppose I can tolerate that. So you go to theme, we're in the root of our project. I run this command, I reread it to make sure it's not sketchy. Seems okay. And then I can change this to be Cactus. Let's see how it rebuilds. Let's see if it rebuilds. Start processing, files loaded. I have to say, Hexo rebuilds super fast. I'm really impressed with how fast it's rebuilding this stuff. Ta-da! Okay, so here's the Cactus version of the blog. Very impressed. I have to say, pretty impressed with how quickly this was able to swap back and forth. Though you can see it assumes I've got these extra pages here, which I don't. I wonder how I can create these, right? So it says about, it says writing. I assume writing is my posts, sure. But I don't have this about page. So how do I make an about page? Let's see. It's linking to /about. So let's play around. Let's see if we can make a page called about. New file. We're going to do source. I'm making all guesses here. I'm just going to try that. Try making a file called... Oop, my computer is having a moment. There we go. There we go. I had a glitchy moment there. But let me try typing, this is my about page. Not found. So that did not work. Let's take a look at posts. Maybe I need to give it a title. I wonder where that went, that generated. The home goes home, about goes to about, writing goes to archives, projects goes to project URL. Interesting. I wonder if I can configure these somewhere. Having a little bit of fun with this. I think that's kind of the point. I do recall that this first post had more information about writing. Let's go learn how to make a page and give it a title. Oh, I see. It assumes, I think it assumes post. Okay. So let's delete this about page. Let's go to the console and we'll say Hexo new page about. Oh, and that looks very different. I don't know if you can see that. That explains why it didn't look right, because it looks completely different. Cool. So, okay, so the way you make a post is you say new page, or you make a page, you say new page and give it a title. Now, ooh-wee. Apparently the public directory is intense, and that is chunking everything on my editor. We're gonna put the public. We're gonna put public back into gitignore because it's I think it's causing some trouble. That's okay. Well, I'm getting into trouble, so you don't have to. Ooh, maybe I am. Maybe I'll just fix it down here. Public. Okay. Let's give my editor a refresh, because it's having cranky times. Open up those logs. Okay, take a look at gitignore. I put public in here, it did not save. Public. We're gonna give this one last refresh just to save our butts. Cool. Okay, so now public is still being served, and we've got a page called about. Aha, and here it is. I can say, this is my rad about page. This is an example blog built on glitch using Hexo. Do about. Great. And that's not found. That's okay. I'm gonna guess that that's the configuration in here. Sure is. Oh, I see. That's kind of neat how they are trying to do that. It doesn't seem to be working for whatever reason, but it's a neat idea. We're just gonna remove projects. And let's reopen our sidebar here. This will require a rebuild, probably, because I'm not watching for changes to the theme. I could watch for changes to the theme. Let's do it. There. So now if the theme changes, it will also rebuild the blog. So now I can go back into the theme config, right? We've got archives, writing. Can I swap the order here? Just want to do a test to see how how it rebuilds. It did not rebuild. Take a look to make sure my watcher is the themes with an S. That's why. Cool, and it actually reloads. Though the order here is not modified. See if I can get to rebuild again. Start processing. Aha, there we go. Home writing about. Cool, so I can absolutely reconfigure. I think I like the cactus. Is that weird? I can use my gravatar as the logo. That's kind of neat. Customization, very cool. Love the drawing of the cactus. We have made a basic Hexo blog. I can go collapse this down. I can go back to our main config and change my theme. Very slick. Yeah, so this is sort of the config YAML where you do all of your, well, configuration. So I love the idea of updating this first blog post and including a bunch more information. I think I might spend just a second doing that. Hello world. Oop, I deleted the wrong one. I don't know, that's undoable. Fortunately, we have rewind. So let's bring that blog post back. I deleted the wrong file. That's kind of a lot of changes. Is that my only step? What else changed here? I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna go back into the past, cancel rewinding because I want to keep my other change. And then go to posts, or say new file, source, posts. Repaste it in. Then delete the file I meant to delete. That was a great excuse to show off Rewind, wasn't it? Yeah, so I was able to open up Rewind, go into the past, and restore that file. Because Rewind is just a nice, pretty UI over Git version control. Cool. Which means if I show my post, or I show my blog, ooh, everything looks a little bit janky. What's going on? And by little janky, I mean very janky. No layout. Ooh. Cactus is having some trouble. I don't know if you can see that. Very, very strange. Swap this order again, see if it causes the thing to rebuild. Because obviously the theme is having a problem. Yeah, look at that. Whatever, something changed where all of a sudden the theme is no longer working. Very weird. There's no telling what happened there. See if I can restore it. Gonna restore cactus. Got a warning. The CPU warning? Let's take a look. Yep, just a CPU warning. I'm just doing a lot. It's like, hey, you're doing an awful lot. That's right, I am. You'll chill out in just a second. Let's refresh and see what's happening out here. Debugging. Welcome to debugging time. Okay, yeah. Just the strangest. Just the strangest. Something in here or somewhere changed, and that change is causing everything to go wonky, but only on Cactus. Like, note that this, flawless. Gosh, I don't know. Okay, well, let me try this along a different theme. Let's try another thing. Maybe let's try something simpler. Elegant and powerful and easy to read. See that this wants me to CD into a different place. I can try that. Okay. This one's called Chic. Looks great. I find it kind of funny that the person's name is Jeremy Bentham. that's a very strange panopticon reference on a random post here. Is the homepage really just like a giant business card? You have to click through to posts. Oh, that's insufferable. Okay, this theme not for me. I understand it, but it's not for me. I will have to say I love that there are so many themes for this, and I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like a little weird that you just like git clone them in, but also it works. It works pretty well. And so a couple of them have these extra little things they want me to install, like Hexo renderer SAS. Guess I could add that. I'm kind of enjoying that people can just like bring what they want into this. I have to say, I actually think that's pretty cool. We're just playing with themes right now. I know that's not the most hardcore coding activity. Or Potch tries on themes. Do that from the wrong directories. We're just gonna back up a directory and try it again. Oops. This one's called Daily. Also, not bad. I don't know what's up with Cactus, but I liked it, but it's not behaving, so out it goes. Okay, so we're gonna give people chic. I get rid of chic as well. Oh, it's just not listed here. We're gonna give people daily, chic, and landscape. Now she's just gonna put them right in line where they can actually pick the one they want. They can just uncomment the line they want. Cool. Still more CPU warning? Plenty of CPU warning. Not concerned about it. This does concern me, this little, like, churn that keeps seeming to me to happen. What else can I do here? Am I able to delay? There we go. I think I want to delay, just in case. I think the delay will just debounce everything. Just put a thin, soft debounce on the whole mess. That might help a little bit. Means I can make a change, and it's going to regenerate. It tells me here I can have... I can have it, like, echo things. Is that... I saw an example of that. I want that as well right now, because I'm trying to debug what's going on here. We've got a weird situation where it really likes to chat, and I want to make sure that the chatter is... We're just going to do that. Yeah, two ants. So it's going to echo what's going on, and then it's going to... and the echo is just a debugging thing. You just want to see what's going on. We're having onChanged talk for us. Okay, everything's up. I can swap out my theme. So you can see change to config.yaml. Aha, but now these two things are compounded weirdly. So I need to... Will that work? Now we're having fun. Now we're deep into debug town. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work the way I think it does. Did I fix a Heisenbug here? Am I attempting to see what's going on? Actually, fixing the problem? That'd be pretty funny. Let's try verbose instead. So I can just say... What was that? Dash V? I always love that verbose comes in a shorthand. Okay, you can see the files it's watching. We tweak one, we swap themes. For whatever reason, this seems to be not churning. It can trigger it over here. A few themes alt. You can switch them. Okay, so I've now caused a bunch of churn to happen. Oop, and now we're in that loop. Is it still churning? Yes, it is. Oh no. Okay. OnChange is Chakadar based. John Nicholas, yes, yes it is. I do not know what that means, but I do know that it is doing this, which is vexing. Ooh, do you think it's Oh, I wonder. I wonder if we're having a glitch. We're having like a glitch and on change battle. Yeah, I like that idea, John Nicholas. That's a good idea. Um, the one reason I don't want to, I like the idea of turning the glitch watching off. I don't want to replace the on change with glitch watching because don't want my server to restart. I only want the files to rebuild, and I believe there's no way to. I know there's no way to stop it from restarting stopping the glitch watcher from restarting the server. I think. So, what I'm actually trying to figure out right now is why I can't echo and then run my command. Because I feel like if I could just echo what the heck is going on, I would know. But it's definitely annoying. There's obviously getting stuck in some sort of odd loop. Let me just tweak this one more time to see if I can get the error to happen. And if it's still happening, or still the loop is going to still happen. So I'm going to get the no auto restart watch JSON going. So this project I'm loading is called watch.json. It is an example of how to use the watch.json file, which is a glitch sort of magic file that tells glitch which files to watch for restarts and things like that. So I can go in here and I can say, we only want to restart when very specific things happen. Specifically, if package.json changes, we want it to restart. Otherwise, for the most part, we can leave this project alone. So I'm going to grab that file and create watch.json. Going to get mad at me immediately. We can also, I always think 100 milliseconds is like a very, and we only need restart. I'm just going to actually, more or less, clean up that comma. Unless I still have a miscopied a quote there. Cool. So once this reparses, position 260, Gosh, JSON is worthless sometimes. Okay, what am I missing? Not what line it's on, but position 260. Okay, let's manually validate this JSON. Temporarily clear this, see if it'll restart. And explode because the JSON file is blank. It's not. I've pasted it in there twice. That was the issue. Cool. Let's see if that helps, shall we? Nope, still stuck in the loop. Okay, I found the issue. The issue is extremely annoying. In fact, the issue is that note how many times it detected that onChange changed, or that this changed. What that tells me is that onChange is, even though I put a delay in, it's being unbelievably aggressive. I might need to do this, like, it's effectively not debouncing. And because it's not debouncing, it triggered like 5 different builds. And so they're just stacking up. And that's what we're seeing, is it's just stacking up builds. It's not triggering a single build, which is what I would expect it to do, but it's piling them up. And I wonder why. That doesn't seem like the behavior I would want. I'm just gonna say await right like let me finish. I think maybe this is the right kind of debounce to put in place. But I don't know if you saw those different logs, but it was like file changed, file changed, file changed, file changed. Maybe onChange is the wrong tool for the job, but I want to push forward with it just for a second and show what that might look like. I'm going to show the section of the config YAML. We're just going to I always wondered how exactly you do this. This is not going to work because it's markdown in markdown, I think. Maybe it will. That worked. Okay, so I just made a bunch of changes. And it should have only triggered one rebuild. And it looks like it did. So let me do a little bit more blurb writing. This blog was... And you can see how fast this is now triggering changes still. Doesn't that 2,000-second debounce doesn't seem to be honored, or that debounce is not, or that debounce is just not being. That's why it's churning so much, which is annoying. It does stop. It's just. See, it's churning maybe faster than I would have it, which is okay. Ooh, if I managed to break the style sheets of all three of these by switching back and forth with them too quickly. Yeah, look at this. Now I broke the default theme. How am I breaking these themes? The approach I've been taking seemed like it was working. Sure seemed like it was working. The other option is we do and now on start we do a build and a serve instead of a watch, and we let and then we put the things we want to watch in here. So essentially replacing on change with glitch watching, which was John Nicholas's other good idea. So let's take a look at that. I forget exactly what the syntax for this stuff is. It's a very squirrely format. So let me take a look again. There it is. But it's a very, I have to admit, this is a kind of a strange globbing format, as globbing formats go. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so I still have an error in this JSON file, because of course I have an error in JSON files, because no one can edit JSON files without breaking them. Cool. So now we're removing the whole other thing, and we're just going to rebuild it every single time there's a significant change. Okay, so what else do I need to tweak here? Oh, themes is the other one I wanted to include. That's incredible to me that this is now. Somehow I managed to break this. I even just deleted the folder and then it recreated it from scratch and the files still seem like they're missing. It's magic. Yeah, look at that. The style sheets are just toast. Software is not always easy. Something is going on that is causing these style sheets to either be corrupt or not be generated or some such. That is obviously the case. Why? It seemed to happen during the on-change churn, which incidentally we are not using anymore, so we'll just strip that out. I deleted the folder full of public files. That should have caused generate to rebuild everything. One would hope. Maybe there's some sort of generate no harder thing I need to do. Hexo also has a file watcher. Oh, that's funny. That's very funny. So I can also apparently say let's see how Hexo's file watcher works. Let's explore every file watcher under the sun and see if we can get one of these to behave in a way that I can tolerate. Hexo is watching for file changes. That's not my blog, that's just a thing. Right now, I'm debugging themes. Also, my themes list is all horked, so let's just regenerate our file list. Okay, take a look at my logs again. Like, if I change the theme, I would expect everything to change. And I feel like I need a little bit of debugging music in the background. Does anyone else feel that? Just a little bit of debugging music. We'll make it quiet. That's what this was missing. Now we're having nice times. Aha, theme change. Okay. Okay, okay. Alright, alright. Let's try switching it back, shall we? And go take a look at the theme and see if something inside the theme got modified. Now I'm going to take a look to see if the default theme was included as a Git submodule. Ooh, what is this db.json file? Do you see that? We're just going to throw it away. And restart our server. At least I'm having a very nice time with the debugging music. That was the thing that was missing this whole time. Okay. Now, I don't know. All I know is I saw a file called db.json and I deleted it. And when I deleted it, everything started working again. Why I didn't go into git ignore and see that there were this magic file, I don't know. But there it is. I don't know what db.json is, so I'm going to take a look at that because obviously that contained... I just want to know what's in it because obviously it came back. I don't know if I'd call that a database so much as it... I'm hoping now that I don't have the same chaos that I had when I was using onChange, that I can now switch themes without things exploding. But now I know that if something goes amiss, delete db.json, because that's the clearing cache of Hexo. That's the have you tried clearing your cache? Because I was like, oh, I deleted public. What else is there? And the answer is there's a file called db.json, and that file is the actual cache. That is learning. Hexo clean. Other thing that I have just learned, thank you, John Nicholas, that there is a command called Hexo clean, which literally clears the cache. And I had no idea it existed. And if I had only done that, all of this would be okay. You know, it's good to be back from vacation. See? And so you can see I got it broken again. Oh, there, it cleaned up. You can see I briefly had the trubs. Now, did it get horked? It got horked again. Okay, but now we know what to do. So I'm actually excited that it broke. Because now I know that I can type and it says not found. I probably want package.json, or I want my watch.json file to restart if what? I don't know. How do I know that? I need to trigger a restart right now. But now if I refresh, waking up the project, it's probably building. Yep, it's building. Specified directory public doesn't exist because I did these in parallel. There we go. My cool blog. Which does not have an about page, even though I could have config, home, archives, about. Not going to regenerate. Oh, what's the path to about? It's not just like /about. I wonder what it is. Oh, you know what I bet it is? I think it's just slash about with an extra. That. Obviously, you don't change your theme like constantly the way I'm mashing with these things, so it's not as this is not going to be a problem that a lot of people are going to experience. Just me, seemingly a lot as I go back and forth with these. So, changing warning. Changing themes may cause the styles to break. If this happens, run in the project console. Neat. Okay, we have a blog. It's a, and I think it's not even a complete disaster at the moment, given that we now have some extra docs and know what's going on. And obviously, I'm going to take some take either in the README or as this first post, but write a bunch of documentation how people can take this and tweak it and make sure everything is correct. Because I actually think, in terms of remixability, this is going to be a really good project. Obviously, once we get, you know, I did, John Nicholas, who's in chat, has kindly, before this whole thing started, sent me a Hexo blog running on Glitch that he had set up. Or that he had, I believe you built, John Nicholas. And, I was like, well, that, I feel like that's cheating. I kind of want to go through the process on the stream, but obviously someone else has gotten this working. And so, I could have pulled a fully cooked turkey out of the oven at any moment. But, I feel like this was a good debugging experience. Just to give a quick, I think actually I'm more or less at the point you did the Hexo in it, and that seemed to work. Okay. I think you took the easy path. I ran into every wall. I think that's actually probably where we're going to pause this week. However, I'm going to give a quick tease I'm doing next week, which is I'm going to be playing with the new version of Pixie.js. I believe there's a version 5 that hasn't come out yet or is coming out soon. I wanted to play with that and build a basic game. I know, here we go, Pixie v5, right? So I'm really excited about this. I love the idea of building a really basic game using Pixie, a little platformer that people can remix and redesign levels and change the graphics and stuff like that. So that's the stream for next week. We're going to build a little platforming game. I did one in Phaser a while back, and I'm going to try this one in Pixie. This week, Hexo, next week, Pixie. I'm really excited to get this Hexo thing polished up because I actually think it's going to be a good way for people to build their own blog. Stay tuned next week for Pixie.js. If you want to watch this later or you're watching this now, it's because you are watching it potentially on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching it on YouTube, or thank you so much for joining me live. By the way, if anyone watching ever has ideas for streams, you can put them in chat. You can also message me either wherever you can find me, which might be here on Twitch, it might be on Twitter, wherever you'd like. Always looking for ideas for cool things to build on stream and ways to show off the Glitch platform. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. This was definitely one of the debugging slog editions, very special episodes. But I feel like if I don't do these occasionally, it doesn't seem real, So I feel like this is more realistic. To see that even I, in the best of moments, just have to just beat my head against a wall to figure stuff out. Maybe that's all the time. I don't know. Cool. So thanks everyone. Have a great week. I'm gonna. If you have any questions, you can throw them in chat right now. I'm gonna do a little bit of polishing up just to mark this stuff is done, and we'll play a little outro music.